Hey, Alex.
Hey, Andrew.
What is this?
This is Brains on the Outside.
And what is Brains on the Outside?
It's a podcast where we dream up ridiculous solutions to solve the business world's issues.
That's right. Each week, we take an impossible problem from a very real business and we just solve it.
This week, a problem from shoe manufacturer Allbirds.
For around 78 episodes, Alex, we receive problems from our friends, our family, and the world at large for us to solve. But something magical has happened. We've gone from just being, bedroom innovation consultants to being out there in the real world, solving real business problems.
Real business big boys.
Proper business problems and proper business solutions we will be giving them.
Well, what's happened?
Well, we have a question from the shoe manufacturer Allbirds. It's pretty crazy, isn't it?
This seems ridiculous to me, but yeah, okay.
Lee Price, the global director of communications from Allbirds, has asked us this. I would love your help nailing a general yet specific, existential yet incidental problem facing many brands and businesses and their comms and brands departments that are trying to find better ways to operate like Allbirds. How do we make sustainability sexy again? I.e., most people would obviously say they'd prefer to buy something sustainable, but when it comes to it, there are a lot of competing factors. I'm interested and excited to hear what you come up with, Lee.
Thanks, Lee.
Thank you, Lee. Like how Lee said, sexy again.
Again.
Yeah.
Andrew, Allbirds is a $300 million turnover company.
Yeah.
How has this happened?
I don't know. I like to think that just the vibes we've been giving out to the universe, the innovative business solutions we put out there, it's coming back.
Wow.
I would love to say that we were getting paid for this, but again, this isn't an ad. We're just doing this consultancy service out of the goodness of our own hearts.
That's when you've got as many ideas and businesses and innovations inside your head as we do. We kind of have to give them out. Otherwise, we end up in a Matilda situation and arms shoot out of our eyes and throw newts at people.
That is actually what I'm afraid of. But coming out my toes and breaking through my wonderful and very comfortable pair of merino wool Allbirds.
You have a pair of Allbirds.
I do, yes.
Is that the hint that you're dropping there?
Yeah, that was the hint. I was trying to segue into the section where we talk about what Allbirds is, Alex.
Oh, nice. What is Allbirds, Andrew?
Allbirds is a New Zealand and American company that sells footwear and apparel.
Oh.
Yes.
That's interesting. I knew them originally because of their vast numbers of Instagram adverts that they did. Good work, chief communications man.
Yeah, well done, Lee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really imprinted on the brains of a million people. But these days, I know them because I wear their underpants.
I don't have their underpants. You've not gone for the shoes.
No.
That's really rogue.
A while back, I went on a mission to find the best underpants in the world. The best underpants a man can buy.
Do you feel you succeeded?
It came out as a tie between two pairs in the end for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Allbirds, actually, surprisingly enough, and also the Step 1 pants. Both of which are really good.
Whenever I say we're not sponsored, like this, it allows us to give this hard-hitting journalism.
Yeah.
I've owned two pairs of Allbirds, and they've both been the comfiest shoes I've worn.
Oh.
Which was...
That's a big claim.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're very nice on my little toes.
Nice.
You can wear them without socks.
I always worry that they're made of wool, right? And are they not really warm?
Oh, they breathe.
Oh.
They breathe. They're good.
Oh, yeah.
Allbirds, they're a B Corp.
Oh.
Which means...
Trendy.
Yeah. They do business differently, they say on the website. So they really care about the environment.
I think if we actually had officially our own innovation consultancy, Andrew, it would probably be a B Corp. So that's a good sign.
Yeah. So I see that why they're interested in sustainability. This is baked right into them. I read their website and it does say the magical qualities of merino wool.
Oh.
I kind of makes me wonder, do they know something about merino wool that we don't?
I think that one of the Allbirds founders is like a big sustainability person, right? That's their whole thing. That's why they were one of the reasons they were set up. Comfortable shoes made out of not plastic or leather, made out of wool.
They're real nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because they're so nice, I feel okay with giving them this free innovation. If they were like BP, I'd be telling them right where to go. Even if BP gave us a really juicy problem, not making it to air.
I guarantee that if we managed to get through to BP's comms marketing department, they would ask how to make sustainability sexy as well.
From a very different place. I think a very,
extremely
very different place.
position, yeah.
Okay, so Alex, do you want to just take us through your innovation process? How are you going to make sustainability sexy? Potentially again.
The place that I would start with this is by thinking about what sustainability actually is. What does it mean? What do people mean by it? What do they want from it? Why is it important?
Are you actually asking? Is this a new word, or are you just sort of theorizing here?
Well, that's where I'd like to start, is in that space, because, you start with the problem.
Yeah,
right?
okay.
There it is. The problem is like people don't like sustainability. Why do they not like it? When I think of sustainability, I think of doing my recycling.
Yep.
Minimizing my rubbish.
Yep.
Buying stuff that has been used before. Reuse. I think about buying sustainable materials, like stuff that can regrow, wood, wool, paper, stuff like that, rather than metal that we dig out of the ground, or oil or plastic.
Yeah.
Right? That's what I think of. And I got to be honest, I think some of those things are kind of a bit of a drag.
It's a lot of it borders on being a chore.
Yeah. Sorting out the recycling. Actually, the worst thing about the recycling is telling people who don't know how to do recycling, who've put the shit in the wrong bin inside your house, that they should put the stuff in the right bin inside your house.
Your
kids.
We have a neighbor who does that to the entire block, but their understanding of how to recycle things is different from the term city council's understanding of how to recycle things. So there's a lot of like, no, you can recycle that bit of cardboard. Oh, it's really infuriating.
That is frustrating. Yeah, that drives me mad. So, the output of sustainability is sexy, right? Mm-hmm. We all get to live longer. That seems like a sexy thing.
We have a planet.
Yeah, we have a planet
on. Yeah.
There's animals and stuff to look at. But the process is kind of a grind.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, I think when I think about sustainability, the payback is also a long way into the future, and it's very difficult to quantify. It's that we still exist and are still here.
Yeah, it's like there will not be a war based around the availability of water.
Yeah, exactly.
We won't live in a Mad Max hellscape. That's kind of what we're...
Yeah.
And that's hard to visualize when it's like, could be, 40, 50 years off before I'm traversing the barren deserts of Northern England.
In a car that you've cobbled together out of bits of cars that you found.
See, the problem is that we're making it sound badass. I mean, you want to play up the fear of the situation?
Actually, I think there is a thing about like the opposite of sustainability is pretty quickly terrifying, but also a bit sexy as well, right?
Okay. You want to...
Yeah.
The implication is you want to make sustainability dangerous.
Risky, yeah. Thrilling. That's right. Yeah, it's true. So that's my starting point, is that. What is sustainability?
Yeah.
And what are the problems with it? Why do people maybe not want to do it? Right? Why would you want to do it? That's what I'm thinking about.
I'm kind of latched onto this idea of it's the long-term thing. It's hard for people to visualize things in the future.
Yeah.
Like, even people don't really understand how fast global warming is happening because they just see season at a time.
Yeah.
So that's where I would begin, with making it more obvious when you're buying a pair of Allbirds, the terrible future waiting to befall us all if you don't buy a shoe from them.
Oh. So you want to speed up the process of ecological collapse?
No.
In order to sell some shoes?
I do not want Allbirds to cross over with Shell to burn more fuel. What I mean, AR, maybe there's shops. So you get shops you go in, and it's like, this is the Mad Max hellscape waiting for you.
Oh, yeah, okay.
If you don't buy a pair of wool runners.
I like this. So you walk into this hellscape store and pick up the shoes and buy them, and when you put them on, it becomes...
Maybe you go in, you put on a pair of AR glasses.
Oh, right, yeah.
And they have put like 2 feet of sand on the ground, so you're wading through the sand like you're in Mad Max.
What if Allbirds opened a series of concept stores called No Birds?
Oh,
which was set in the apocalyptic future where people didn't buy sustainable shoes, that were open in the same towns as their Allbirds concept stores.
Right, that's solid, because no birds, it could just be a world without birds.
Yeah.
And the ecological impact that would have. I'm no biologist, but I bet a world without birds,
Yeah.
It'd be pretty grim for a variety of reasons I couldn't be able to predict.
Yeah, I think it'll be bad. Yeah, and then you still have your Allbirds stores, which you don't have to change into post-apocalyptic wastelands.
Yeah.
And you don't have to put AR goggles on people, but the No Birds stores are really highlighting what's happening that's bad in the world if you don't live a better life.
So what happens? You go in and it's just 21, 25
Yeah.
hellscape,
Yeah.
but not in a fun Blade Runner way.
No.
It's
like everyone's drinking Soylent and Huel. That's all you can buy. There's nothing, there's no food, you know.
Do you feel like being plunged into this sort of existential depression would make you more likely to shop?
Not in that store, but then I'd walk out and I'd walk into the beautiful concept store of Allbirds over the road.
Yeah.
And be like, oh, this is what the world could be like.
Okay,
You know, there are bunnies and kittens playing around my feet as I walk in the store. There's trees and plants everywhere. It's all green and luscious inside. The store staff don't have 3 eyes and too many fingers.
This is that instant feedback they don't really get from normal sustainability problems. Like understanding like this is my impact immediately. Because there's a lot of things like, oh, you do this thing, you buy this toilet paper and you'll plant a tree. But that again is like a long-term thing. It's not you've walked out the Mad Max store and into the good store and you see that there is actually an impact to your actions.
Yeah. I think there's actually a good idea in there. For real.
I feel like it needs a bit of shaking to get into the Allbirds brand guidelines. But maybe somewhere in there, yes.
I think you could also extend it out. Like if you buy a pair of shoes from the Allbirds store, because Allbirds is about like the No Birds is about protecting no birds.
Yeah.
There's no birds left.
Yeah.
Allbirds is about protecting all the birds.
Yeah.
I believe it's called Allbirds because like New Zealand is all birds and no mammals.
I see you've read the Wikipedia page like I have.
I may have, yes. But maybe you could also say that Allbirds is about protecting all the birds. And the goal of Allbirds is to look after all our winged friends upon the planet.
I do love that.
And every time someone buys a pair of Allbirds, they add another species of bird that they're going to look after to the pile of Allbirds that they're going to look after.
Can I just clarify? So you're saying right now,
Yeah.
Allbirds protects 0 birds, but you buy a pair of
Wool runners.
wool runners. My laptop screen's gone dark, so I can't see the rest of the shoe names. You buy a pair of wool runners, and then they add pigeon onto the list, and now they do pigeon conservation. Then I buy a pair, and they add golden eagle onto that list. So not that you add a new type of bird into the gene pool. You get your CRISPR kit out, and you make pigeon 2, and you're like, off you go.
That's like new birds.
I guess eventually we'll run out of birds for them to protect.
Yeah, and then you have to think about the Allbirds to protect. But I think, it's like you start with no birds, and for every pair sold, it's like another new species.
There's something cool, but you buy your pair of shoes, or you're the 1,000th person to buy a pair of shoes, and you get an email being like, yeah, we care about doves now.
Yeah.
You did that. That's the thing that happened immediately.
Yeah.
Can we meet our bird be added? Is there a path?
Specific bird? I guess like maybe every 10,000 pairs of shoes sold. I don't know how many shoes Allbirds sell, but it's like 10,000 pairs of shoes, something like that. The purchaser gets flown to wherever their bird species that they have added to the protected list lives.
That's good.
So you might just get like flown down the road because it's robins or pigeons or seagulls, but you might get emus and you get flown out, or you might get birds of paradise and you get flown to Madagascar, right?
I like this idea of like you buy your Allbirds, you get your link about like, oh, you've added chickens now, and you can like track the chicken that you've added to that list. Like it's been tagged.
Ooh.
Because
we chose a specific bird for you.
But there's either a whole species, or we've just like we've chucked another chicken into this pile that we're looking after and sponsoring. Because they tag a lot of birds, right?
Yeah.
A lot of birds are tagged. So you could have like a map link that was like, this is
where the bird is from.
Holy shit, you get 2 tracking codes. One for your shoe that's been delivered to you.
Yeah.
And one for the albatross that's currently making its pilgrimage back home for winter. A big thing in the whiskey industry right now is being able to track a bottle of whiskey from its very beginning of its journey when it was barley, how that was grown,
Yeah.
how it was mulched up, and how it exists in the barrel.
Yeah.
And there's this dream of being able to QR code scan a bottle of whiskey and be able to give an entire story of everything that ever happened to it, every temperature it's ever seen, everywhere in the world it's been, everything about it. Could you do that with the Allbirds shoe and also tie it into the history of the animal that's been tagged that you are now looking after?
To the bird.
To the bird.
Yeah. Actually, the tin tuna people,
Yeah.
they did that with, you could scan a tin of tuna and see where your tuna had come from in the sea.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it had a barcode on it. You could beep it and be like, this boat at this point collected this tuna.
For a second, I was like, so you can watch it swimming through the ocean.
I was going to say it's like that, but a lot more sustainable and friendly and nice.
So wait, our solution here is making people more likely to buy sustainable things by making the act of buying an Allbirds shoe just really fucking cool.
It makes it really cool, but also I think it makes it even more sustainable because you're actively, so Allbirds are actively putting money into charities that look after birds.
The goal is to save all the birds.
Andrew, it's ad time.
It is ad time. And, we are sponsored by Allbirds, but we are sponsored by these lovely people. Now, Alex, me and you play a lot of an app right now.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say the name of it because, one, they don't sponsor us, and two, they haven't replied to my request for a question for the show yet.
Whoa,
I know. But the app is like, the whole world is split into hexes.
Yeah.
There's lots of hexes. So, for example, in Durham city centre, if you look at a map, the map on the app, it splits Durham into probably 70 different hexes.
Yeah, I think it's 226 actually.
Yeah. Okay. And when you walk through it, you get a point on that hex.
Yeah.
And as you walk over it more and more and more, you build up more points on individual hexes. And there's a leaderboard of who has walked on each hex the most. And it's become quite competitive in our friend group and also outside of our friend group.
Yeah, it really has. Yeah.
We now have beef with our friend's dad.
Yeah, Graham smells.
Graham smells. I've never met Graham. I have no idea what he looks like. I know nothing about him apart from apparently he smells.
Yeah. And he does a lot of walking.
He does a lot. Graham walks.
Yeah.
Graham's got shoes.
Yeah.
Our sponsor today, though, aims to take this experience of this app I'm not going to name into the real world.
It really does. In the way that in the app, you can claim hexagons. With our sponsor's product today, you can actually just claim the ground that you walk upon. Because it's a pair of shoes with a heated element in the sole that burns your name with every step you take.
It is really cool. It's destroyed a lot of the pavement in Durham.
Yeah.
But I feel confident when I walk into a Tesco that this Tesco is not mine.
It is a bit of a toss-up because you have to take your Allbirds off in order to put these on.
Yes, that is difficult.
But for the sake of leaving your own personal brand in the floor of WH Smith's, sometimes you just got to do that.
Well, it's nice to know that a bit of me will last forever on the CEX carpet. It's also really good because have you heard about the new industries and new sectors they're branching out into?
No, I haven't.
No, it's been a big announcement. They're getting really into cattle. So the cowboys can just kick the cattle to leave the mark on. I'm really excited. They're really going to be pretty big, I think.
That's fab. If somebody wanted to buy a pair of these shoes, what would they be looking for? What's the name of the sponsor, Andrew?
Well, Alex, you hot-foot it down to your local shoe shop and ask for their pair of their nicest hot feet. That's all one word, all lowercase. Hot feet.
Let's get back to the show.
I feel we promised the listeners and Allbirds a ridiculous solution that they wouldn't get from regular avenues of business problem solving.
That first bit there, we had one of those situations where actually we had a good idea on the show.
I don't know if it's just my brain is so broken that I think Allbirds saving all the birds is a great idea,
Yeah.
or if it's actually a great idea. But I have a solution, and I'm not sure how it relates to the problem.
Okay.
So maybe you could help me link these two things together. But we imagined for a second in the first half, what if you made some new birds?
Yeah.
What if there was just one bird? There was the Allbird. So that's my solution. We use CRISPR to create the Allbird.
Is that you've CRISPRed all of the bird genes together to make a new bird?
But they have
every bird.
But they have human feet, so they can wear Allbirds.
It's like some kind of heinous mascot. Bird. Okay. Yeah. So the Allbird has the gene. So I guess it has the best of all the birds, right?
I'm not going to claim best in version 1, but
and
yeah,
then got English. It's got English. It's got human feet.
It's got human feet.
So it can like a penguin that can fly.
Yeah.
And also has long legs.
And it lays duck and chicken eggs.
Yeah. Does it also have the long neck? Like an ostrich or an emu?
It has a very, very long neck, but to balance out the fact that some birds have small necks, when it's a little baby Allbird, it has a very short neck.
And does it have a beak or a bill?
It's hard to explain, but both.
It's like razor sharp beak. Razor sharp duck bill. Okay. Yeah. Okay. How does this? Are you suggesting that it's like you know how they have the seed bank in Norway? Where all of the seeds.
That's it. Yeah.
This is the Allbird, which has all of the genetic information for all birds in one place. So it's most sustainable because if you have a dodo situation and pigeons die out, we just get them back from the Allbird because it's just there.
When you say get it back from the Allbird, it sounds like you're going into this vault deep in the ground and making a deal with it.
Yeah.
You are bargaining for its chicken wings. I think actually this is it. Like Allbirds can only do so much, right?
Yeah.
They are going to try their best to save all the birds right now.
Yeah.
But as realists, as sensible business people, you need a plan B.
Mm-hmm.
You should need one. But just in case the world does get destroyed and there's no birds, like in their concept store, we have the Allbird to fall back on.
It's going to be terrifying.
It's going to be really freaking scary.
Especially with its human feet. So it's human feet, but then it's like got talon claws on the ends of its feet as well. It's got like So it's also the kind of stuff of nightmares. So you could threaten people with the Allbird as well. Recycle that or the Allbird's going to fuck you up.
It sounds like one of those old scary German fairy tales.
Oh, yeah. Schwarzpeter. Yeah, exactly. You better get an electric car or the Allbird's going to come and eat your fingers. Yeah, okay.
I do imagine that the Allbird is kind of like a Cthulhu-esque monster that most of humanity rightfully despises, but some people hold up as a god emperor.
I guess it has like all of the best bits of birds, but also all of the worst bits of birds as well. And everything. Okay, yeah. And there doesn't have to just be one Allbird either. You gotta have a whole flock of Allbirds. You CRISPR them all together. I think that's the subtle threat, right? Yeah.
Like
we made one.
We made one. We could do this again. And it's also like if things get really dire, it's like you just put them in a pair of Nikes.
Oh.
And you're like, we didn't make this. Like, this is an Adidas thing.
You got plausible deniability. I think that's real clever, actually.
Yeah.
It's real good. Because we're all birds. We're out to protect all the birds. Why would we do this?
In no one respect they would create the ultimate killing machine. What do you think's the chance that all birds will listen to this episode now and go, yeah, actually, maybe.
I think it's such going to be a roller coaster for them because it started out a little bit weird and then it kind of got sensible and pretty good. And now it's gone so far off the rails.
It's all about protecting the birds, though. I did Google in the break, and so far there's been no bird-related Allbirds initiatives.
Oh.
So this would be like quite a novel and exciting thing for them to do, especially if they go all the way into and they get the capital A Allbird.
Yeah.
So is there any justification for the Allbird being a way of increasing sustainability? Apart from being like you better recycle, the Allbird's going to get you.
I think the seed bank that's a thing.
It's a seed bank.
It's an interesting living seed bank. It's like the worst.
That's really interesting. A living seed bank that Allbirds has funded via the creation of an Allbird.
I guess there are probably better ways of doing that, but
yeah, if you want that,
fun.
If you want that, you go to Deloitte.
Yeah,
you
exactly. That's true.
You go to a sensible, boring consultancy.
Yeah. You want the horror bird. You come here as a way of maintaining things for life.
I feel like, if I love the Allbird, maybe that isn't the best solution. What are we giving Lee? We're going to obviously write up a 500-page PDF and get all the work together to make this project a reality. That PowerPoint slide ain't going to make itself. But what is it? What is the solution that we are pitching back to them that Lee can take to the board?
I actually really like the No Birds concept store. I actually think that's real clever.
You go in and it's fun. Like David Attenborough narrating, this is what a world would be like with no birds in it.
No birds in it.
And then I love that. I also actually do like the idea of there is some like we are protecting birds, and after every so many shoes we're adding a new one on, and there's some way to track some birds or something. I think that'd be interesting.
I think it'd be really interesting, yeah, because your combination of those two things, like you could have nobirds.com, which is like the futuristic post-apocalyptic version of the website, and where there's no sheep, so they can't make the shoes out of wool anymore. So like that's quite nice. Yeah, you'd see what would happen. Or you could just actually do it as like an educational thing of like, if there were no birds, this is what...
I actually don't know what would happen. I'd be interested in knowing if there were no birds.
I mean, loads of stuff doesn't get seeded anymore. Because, birds do a lot of seed propagation and stuff, I think. So between Allbirds and No Birds, do you want to pitch them together or do you want to...
I think they are on the same project across a timeline. You start off with the concept store and you grow into like, well, now we're
actually, that's exactly it. That's your campaign.
Yeah. This is the one with No Birds.
No Birds is the first activation, and then you like, this is what it would be like, and this is the commitment that Allbirds is making to protect all the birds.
And if it all goes wrong,
and if you don't, this is the threat of the Allbird.
There is a vault 2,000 meters underneath Sweden that we can open at any time.
That was a show.
That was indeed a show. Thank you, Lee, our new friend of the show, Lee, and all of Allbirds for sharing your blues with us.
I am still reeling from the fact that Allbirds actually sent us a question.
I know. Yeah. It's pretty bananas.
Yeah, it is.
Well, Lee, I'm glad. I hope we helped. I'm excited to see the first No Birds concept store, and I'm excited to see whatever strange aberrations you guys make down in your bird lab.
Andrew, is there anything we want people to do?
Yes.
What is it?
If you could just like this, depending what platform you're on, leave us a comment, depending what platform you're on, subscribe. That'd be incredible. Telling your friends, though, is the absolute number one best thing you can do for our show.
We've relaunched with this new format. We really like it. We're really excited about it. We really want to get as much traction as possible. So that please do those things. We have a lot of businesses, a lot of real businesses with real problems lined up. And it's going to be really exciting to share it all with you. Alex, we've been very focused on the shoes today, but I know there's all sorts of great ideas rattling around in your brain. Do you have one final business idea to leave us on? Yeah, a little folding DVD player that looks like a book from the outside, but when you open it up, it's got a screen inside. It's just got the DVD in it of the film of the book. So it might be Pride and Prejudice. And when you open it, it's the Pride and Prejudice TV show. Obviously the BBC one. So that you can look really, really smart without having to read a stupid book.
I love it. Keep your brain on the outside.
Keep your brain on the outside.